ठीक है, मेरा हो गया।
महाराज वाला हो गया है, महाराज की खुद का है।
ठीक है, हरे
सब ठीक।
हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna.
Am I audible? All right. Hare.
Ji Maharaj, you audible. Sorry, I can't close this.
Vandeham
Sorry,
Shri
sorry.
Guru Shri Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Rita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. First of all, offer my billions of obeisances to lotus feet of Asmati Guru Padma, Nitala Prishta Jagat Guru Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Trendi Swami Srimad Bhaktivedanta Dandi Maharaj, Namnishta Sant Shri Aniruddha Das Prabhuji, all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who are gathered here, please accept my humble obeisances. So we are discussing here the book called Shiv Madhurya Kadambini, Seventh Shower of Nectar, text 2.c. When a devotee situated at the stage of Krishna Rati practices the limbs of devotional service, such as hearing, the Sthai Bhav in his heart mixes with Vibhav, Anubhavs, Sattvic Bhavs, and Sanchari Bhavas or Vabhichari Bhavas. So Sthai Bhav is also 5 types. Sthai Bhav is either Sakhyaras, Dasyaras, Vatsaras, Madhuras, either of these 5 mellows. The resulting relish he experiences in his heart is known as Bhakti Ras. Thus, this Krishna Rati, otherwise known as Sthai Bhava, becomes Bhakti Ras. In the gradual maturation of this Rati, it acquires different names such as Prema, Sneha, Mahan, Pranaya, Rag, Anurag, and Mahabhav. All of these are the Sthai Bhava of Krishna Bhakti Rasa. When the Sthai Bhava mixes with Vibhav and other ingredients of Rasa, it creates Bhakti Rasa, which is a most astonishing relishable state. In his teachings of Sri Rupa Goswami, Sriman Mahaprabhu has said, Sadhana Bhakti Haitya Rati Rauda Rati Gada Hele Tara Prema Namahayam Prema Vriddhi Krame Nama Sneha Mana Pranay Raga Anuraga Bhava Mahabhava Haya Jaiche Bija Ikshurasa Guda Khandasar Sharkara Sita Mishri Uttama Mishriyar ये सब कृष्ण भक्ति रस स्थायी भावे मिले यदि विभाव अनुभाव सात्विक व्यभिचारी भावे मिलने कृष्ण भक्ति रस अमृतास्वादने जैसे दधि सीता घृत मरीच कर्पूर मिलने रसाल अमृत मधुर चरितामृत मध्य लीला 19.177-182. When one engages in sadhana bhakti, ecstatic attachment to Sri Krishna awakens within him. When rati condenses, it is called prema. When prema swells, its different stages takes the name sneha, man, pranay, rag, anurag, bhav, and mahavam. This gradual development of prema may be compared to different states of sugar. The sugar cane seed transforms into sugar cane. Then sugar cane juice, then liquid molasses, then solid molasses, then sugar, then candy, then rock candy, and finally lozenge. In the same way, all the states of prema are the permanent moods, style bhavas of Krishna Bhakti Rasa, which becomes as relishable as nectar when these Thai bhavas mix with vibhav, anubhav, and other ingredients of rasa. It can be likened to mixing yogurt, sugar candy, ghee, black pepper, and camphor to produce a drink that is sweet like nectar. Vibhav. So basically, we are trying to make a drink by mixing these things: yogurt, sugar candy, ghee, black pepper, and camphor. This is called rasal. So, vibhava, in which rati is tested and which causes rati to be tested, is of two types: alambana, the support or basis of rati, one's eternal mood, and uddipana, stimulus for remembrance. Alambana is also of two types: Vishayalambana, the object of love, and number two, Ashrayalambana, the reservoir of love. Shri Krishna himself is the Vishayalambana of Bhakti Rasa because the bhakti that resides in the heart of the devotee object of the bhakti. And the devotee is the Ashrayalambana because the devotee is the abode of bhakti. Furthermore, when Shri Krishna shows affection to devotee, he becomes the Ashraya Alambana of the devotee's Rati, and the devotee becomes the Vishya Alambana. The flute song, the clouds, the peacocks, peacock feather are Uddipana Bhava. Meaning they stimulate Krishna Rati, dancing Nritya, rolling on the ground, Viluntana, singing Gana, and crying out loudly, Kroshana, are Anubhavas which reveal the feelings within the heart. The Ashtasattvic Bhavas, such as shedding tears and horripilation, are also Anubhavas. Srila Vishwanath Thakur has not herein mentioned the names of the various Sattvic Bhavas, but the compilers of the various Rasa Shastras have categorized these ecstatic ecstasies separately and named them Sattvic Bhavas. They have done so because the group of Anubhavas, dancing and rolling on the ground, may manifest deliberately, whereas tears, horripilation, and so forth manifest involuntarily. The emotions overwhelm the heart. All the bhavas that manifest from sattva, pure consciousness, are known as sattvic bhavas. All the actions such as dancing arise from sattva because they are impelled by the function of the intelligence. They are not regarded as sattvic bhavas. However, becoming stunned and so forth manifest on their own, and therefore they are included in the sattvic bhavas. Still, including actions like dancing among the sattvic bhavas does not result in the fault of ativyakti, an unwarrantable stretch of a definition or principle. 33 symptoms, jubilation, detachment, and so forth, are called sanchari or vyabhichari bhavas. They are known as sanchari bhavas because they empower the momentum of the sthai bhava. These sanchari bhavas manifest like waves in the nectarous ocean of sthai bhava. They make that ocean of rasa swell and finally merge back into it. The sthai bhava or Krishna bhakti becomes rasa only when it mixes with the 14 different ingredients such as vibhav and anubhav. It is not true that when rati awakens in someone's heart, he will be also he'll be able to taste rasa. The ability to taste rasa depends upon impressions from previous lifetimes. It is said in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.1.6. प्राक्तनी आधुनिकी चास्ति यस्य सत् भक्ति वासना ईश भक्ति रसास्वादस्तस्यैव हृदि जायते. Only the devotees who have desired pure devotion in many previous lives and also in this life can relish the mellow of devotion, bhakti rasa, in the heart. In his commentary on this verse, Srila Vishwanath Thakur has written, प्राक्तनी वासना तु रति आस्वादे अवश्यम अपेक्षिता अतएव एकस्मिन् एव जन्मनि दैवान् निरपराधै गुरुपदाश्रया गुरुपदाश्रयानि पदाश्रयादिभिर् जनैस्तस्मिन् एव जन्मनि रतौ जायता जातायाम् अपि तस्य आस्वादा किंतु जन्मांतर iti bodhyam. The existence of rati indeed indicates the presence of a recent aspiration for bhakti. However, rati depends upon desiring bhakti for lifetimes for it to transform into rasa. It is then that it becomes relishable. If someone who is free from offenses and who engages in bhajan by taking complete shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Guru attains rati in this very birth, it is to be understood that it is in some future lifetime that he will be able to relish rasa. Sri Rupa Goswami has described the sadhan leading to the development of rasa, the factor that assist the awakening of rasa, and a method of developing rasa. Bhakti nirdhuta doshanam प्रसन्नोज्ज्वल चेतसाम श्री भागवत रक्तानाम रसिक संग रसिका संग रंगिनाम जीवनी भूत गोविंद पाद भक्ति सुख श्रियाम प्रेमांतरंग प्रेमांतरंग भूता कृत्यानि एवानुतिष्ठताम भक्तानामृतिराजन्ति संस्कार युगलोज्ज्वला रतिर आनंद रूपैव नियमानातु रस्यताम कृष्णादिभिर् विभावाद्यैर् गतेर् अनुभवाध्वनि प्रौढ़ानंद चमत्कार काष्ठम आपद्यते पराम. Those who by the influence of bhakti have, all, have had all their inauspiciousness completely washed away, whose hearts have consequently become full of delight, eligible for Shuddha Sattva, and radiant, fully enriched with knowledge, who are always deeply attached to Srimad Bhagavatam, who feel perpetual delight in associating with Rasik Bhaktas, who treasure the happiness of rendering spiritual service to the lotus feet of Sri Govinda, which is as dear to them as their own life, who always remain absorbed in the confidential sadhan of developing prem, such as Shravan, Kirtan, and Smaran, and whose hearts shine with desires for bhakti from their previous lives and from their current life. For them, the bliss of rati combines with direct experience of the combination of vibhav, anubhav, etc., and becomes highly relishable, thus attaining the pinnacle of condensed bliss. Vrajanandan Sri Krishna is the fountain is the foundation of all rasas. यो हि रसो वैसः रसम ही एवायम लब्ध्वानंदी भवति इति श्रुति अभिधीयते. अयम अन्यत्रावतारे अवतारिणी वा संभवन अपि स्वयं संपूर्तिमानं तत्र तत्रा तत्रा लभमानो व्रजेंद्र नंदन एव स्वकाष्ठां लभते. नद नदी तदा तडागादिषु संभवनपि यथा समुद्र एव जल निधित्वम् यो हि भावस्य प्रथम परिणताव एव उत्पद्यमान एव प्रेमणि मूर्त एव रसः साक्षात् एव तद्वता भक्तेनानुभूयत इति. इति माधुर्य कादम्बिन्यां परमानंद निस्संदिनी नामा सप्तमी अमृत वृष्टि. The Shrutis, Taittiriya Upanishad 2.7.1 have also declared the original personality of Godhead, Swayam Bhagavan, is the very embodiment of the nectar of all transcendental rasas. The living entity attains real happiness by obtaining him. Water is present in streams, rivers, and reservoirs. Nevertheless, the ocean is the ultimate reservoir of all water. Similarly, although other manifestations of Sri Bhagavan, Matsya, Kurma, and so on, and sources of such manifestations possess rasa, it does not attain complete perfection in them. Rasa attains its perfection only in the personality of Brajanandan Sri Krishna, the source of all sources of incarnation. That very Swayam Bhagavan, Sri Brajanandan manifests in the heart of the sadhaka at the very first stage of the transformation of Bhava. At the stage of Prema, however, Sri Brajanandan is fully realized as the direct embodiment of all rasas by devotees who are Rasika, expert in relishing transcendental rasa. Thus ends the Bhavanuvad of the seventh shower of nectar, named Paramananda Nisyandini, the flow of divine rapture. The Shrutis, while presenting the nature, Swarupa of Bhagavan, have declared him to be the very embodiment of rasa. To the following aphorism, Raso Vaisa, the supreme absolute truth, is the reservoir of rasa. Taittiriya Upanishad 2.7.1. Prajnananandam Brahma, the Supreme Lord is full of knowledge and bliss. And Anando Brahmeti Vejanath, the Supreme Lord is composed of transcendental bliss. Taittiriya Upanishad 3.6.1. Similarly, the Shrutis encourage those living entities who are ardently longing for that bliss by declaring Rasam hi evayam labdva nandi bhavati. The supreme absolute truth, Paraptattva, is simply rasa. When achieving that rasa, the living entity attains bliss. Taittiriya Upanishad 2.7.1. Although all forms of Bhagavan are by nature full of rasa, still no other form, still no form other than Swayam Bhagavan, Vrajanananda Shri Krishna exhibits the complete manifestation of rasa. Some incarnations show a partial manifestation of a particular rasa, but Shri Krishna is the embodiment of all rasas, Akhila Rasamrita Murti. Therefore, it is in him that all rasas find their completeness in every respect. Water is present in streams, rivers, and reservoirs, but the ocean is the original repository of all water. Similarly, all rasa is present in all other manifestations of Bhagavan. Sri Krishna is nevertheless the original shelter of the totality of all rasas. He is the personification of rasa. All the Rasik Bhaktas realize him as being rasa personified. In whatever rasa one worships him, one will realize him to be the embodiment of that rasa. Srila Bilungal Thakur, who worships Bhagavan in the sweet meal of amorous love, has said, Shringar Rasa Sar Sarvaswam. Shri Krishna is the be all and end all of the transcendental amorous melo. Hmm. Thus ends the Piyusha Varshini Vritti on the seventh shower of nectar, named Paramananda Nisyandini, the flow of divine rapture. Eighth shower of nectar, absolute fulfillment of the soul's yearning, Prema Bhakti. The transformation of the flower of Bhava into the fruit of Prema. अथ तस्य एव भक्तिकल्पवल्यः साधनाभिखे ये पूर्वं द्वे पत्रिके लक्षिते इदानीं ततो तिचिक्कणानि तादृश श्रवण कीर्तनादि मत्यानि भाव कुसुम समलंगनानि अनुभावाभिधानानि बहुनि पत्राणि सहसैवाविर्भूय क्षणे क्षणे द्योतयन्ति यानि एव भावकुसुमं परिणामं प्राप प्राप प्राप्य पुनस्तदैव प्रेमाभिधान फलत्वम् आनयति किंच आश्चर्यचर्येयं भक्तिकल्पवल्ली यस्याः पत्रस्तवक पुष्पफलानि प्राप्त परिणतीति अपि स्वस्वरूपम् अत्यजन्ति एव नवानि एव सहसैव सर्वाणि विभ्राजन्ते. The first two leaves of sadhan bhakti, visible on the wish fulfilling vine of devotion, of Bhakti Kalpalata, were described before. Now, many leaves named Anubhavas, far smoother and softer than the first two, yet, like them, composed of Shravan, Kirtan, and so on, suddenly manifest on this vine, clinging to the flower of Bhava. At every moment, these leaves of Anubhav expand the great beauty of this vine, causing the flowers of Bhava to blossom to their ultimate potential and bear the fruit of Prema. The nature of this wish fulfilling vine of Bhakti is so astonishing that when its leaves, sadhan Bhakti, its clusters of buds, Asakti, its flower Bhava, and its fruit Prema attain maturity, they do not lose their original form but continue to shine together in newer and newer ways. Vishnu Vritti. In this eighth shower of nectar, Sri Vishwanath Thakur elaborately describes the symptoms of prema and its anubhavas. When bhava or rati has thoroughly melted the heart with the desire to attain Bhagwan, Bhagavad Prapti Avilash, the desire to do what is favorable for Bhagwan, Anukulya Avilash, and the desire to have deep affection for Bhagwan, Saubhardha Avilash, as mentioned in the seventh shower, it increases to the ultimate limit of ecstasy and blesses the devotee with a strong sense of possessiveness, mamata, for his worshipful Lord. Learned persons refer to this stage of bhava as prema. The following verse expresses this. Samyan mashunita swanta mamatati shayankita bhava eva sandatma budhai prema nigaddate. Bhaksharasamrita Sindhu 1.4.1. The difference between bhava and prema is that bhava softens the heart and prema softens it absolutely. Bhava contains the pinnacle of ruchi, but prema contains an extreme feeling of possessiveness. Condensation of ecstasy, sandrandatmakatva, is the intrinsic quality of prema. A melting heart, snigdhatva, snigdhata, and a feeling of possessiveness, mamata, are prema's marginal characteristics. After Srila Rupa Goswami presents the above mentioned verse, he quotes as evidence the following verse from Sri Narad Panchara. Ananya mamata Vishnu, mamata prema sangata, bhaktir iti uchyate Bhishma, praladodhava, praladodhava naradai. Mahajanas such as Bhishma, Prahlad, Uddhav, and Narad regard prema to be that by which one gives up a mood of possessiveness for one's body, household, and other sense objects, and instead develops possessiveness for anything that is related to Lord Vishnu. A sadhaka is considered perfect siddha only at the stage of prema. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.1.280 states the symptoms of a perfected devotee. Avidnya takhila kleshaha sada krishnashrita kriya siddha syu santatah prema saukhya swadana parayana. If one is completely free from all types of misery and is always immersed in activities related to Sri Krishna, continuously testing the happiness of prema is a perfected devotee. At this level, the devotee has a tremendous taste for hearing and speaking Harikatha. Moreover, he experiences narrations of Sri Hari to be ever fresh. Just as a lusty person may always enjoy talks with a charming woman. In Bhagavatam states, Satam Anya Satam Ayam Sara Bhrutam Nisargo Yadarthavani Shruti Chetasamapi Pratikshanam Navyavat Achyutasya Yad Striya Vitanam Eva Sadhu Vartam. The nature of the crest jewels of devotees who are capable of extracting the essence of everything is that they have dedicated their words, their sense of hearing, and their hearts to Sri Krishna. They experience topics about him to be ever fresh. just as the lusty man always relishes talks about women. Previously, the second shower of nectar described the first two leaves of the transcendental wish fulfilling vine of bhakti. At the stage known as sadhana bhakti, kleshagni, relief from material desires, material distress, and shubhada, the bestowal of all auspiciousness. After the stage of anartha nivritti, at the stage of asakti, the creeper begins to produce clusters of buds, and at the stage of rati, the flower of bhava blooms. Now, at the stage of prema, once Shravana, Kirtana, and so forth flourish with hundreds and thousands of soft, smooth leaves, Adhibhavas, such as tears, convalescent, laughing, weeping, and dancing. They at once encircle the flower of Bhava, which then transforms and produces the fruit of Prema. These leaves and flowers render the wish fulfilling effort of Bhakti extremely beautiful. The essence of all this is as follows. The degree that a sadhaka on the path of jnana, yoga, etc., nears perfection, his endeavor diminishes. This is because of these paths, the stage of practice, sadhana, and the stage of perfection, siddhi, are two entirely different things. In the case of bhakti, however, they are not different. They are the same. The only difference is that during the stage of sadhana, the devotee's bliss is diluted, whereas at perfection, it is extremely concentrated. Therefore, on the path of bhakti sadhana, as the sadhaka nears the stage of prema, his practice of bhajana in the form of hearing and chanting increases. At the stage of prema, shravana, kirtan, and so forth become his exclusive life and soul, and his performance of these angas of bhakti is gracefully adorned with various ecstatic transformations. The fruit of the vine of bhakti, prema, which is the essential function of Bhagavan's pleasure potency, lies in is supremely tasteful and sweet. Compared to the delectable sweetness and intoxicating quality of prema, the four mundane goals of human life, religiosity, wealth, sense gratification, and liberation appear most insignificant. Although this prema itself is the original object of relish, it nevertheless makes the Premi Bhakta taste Sri Krishna's most astonishing sweetness, Madhuri, and thus bestows upon him everlasting fulfillment, the joy of service to Sri Krishna. Even Mahaprabhu has said, Panchama Purushartha Sei Prema Mahadan Krishneram Madhurya Rasa Karay Aswadan Premaite Krishnaya Nija Bhaktavash Premaite Paya Krishner Seva Sukaras. Chetan Charitamrut Adi Lila, 7.144 145. The fifth and ultimate goal of human life, Krishna Prem, is the most precious wealth by which one delights in Krishna's charming sweetness. Prema makes Sri Krishna become controlled by his devotee, and by Prema one obtains the ambrosial happiness of service to him. Prema transforms the material tendencies of the devotee's heart into spiritual ecstasy. ततश्चास्य भक्त जनस्यात्म आत्मीय गृह वित्तादिषु शत सहस्रशो भवत्यो याश्चित्त वृत्तयो ममता रज्जुभिस्तेषु तेषु निबद्धा एव पूर्वम् आसन्ता एव चित्तवृत्ति सर्वा एव ततस्ततो वहेलयैवोन्मुच्य स्वशक्त्या मायिकेर अपीता महारसकूप स्पृश्यमान पदार्थ मात्राणिव साकारचित आनंद ज्योतिर्मयी कृत्यताभिरेव हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण शक्तैव तथा भूति कृत्य कृतिभिः श्री भगवत रूप नाम गुण माधुर्येषु यो निबध्नाति सोयम प्रेम महाकिरण मालीव उदयस्यम उदयश्यमान एव निखिल पुरुषार्थ नक्षत्र मंडली सहसैव विलापयति. Thereafter, the tendency of the devotee's heart, which was previously in hundreds and thousands of ways bound by the rope of possessiveness to to his body, bodily relations, home, wealth, and so on, is now as a result of prema easily released from its worldly attachments. And just as any object that is submerged in a well of great nectar becomes saturated with that nectar, these tendencies, though material, are transformed into radiant, condensed spiritual ecstasy, Chit Ananda, by the power of prema. Thus, with that very same possessiveness, prema binds the inclination of the devotee's heart to the charming sweetness of the names, forms, and qualities of Sri Bhagavan. This is prema. Prema awakens like a great sun and immediately causes the various star-like goals of human life to vanish. At the stage of sadhan, the tendency of the devotee's heart, chitta vritti, is divided into hundreds and thousands of fragments and perpetually shackled with the rope of possessiveness to his body, as well as that which is related to his body, home, wealth, and so on. Prem, however, easily releases the sadhaka from his inclination towards such material objects. With the touch of the rasa of spiritual ecstasy, prema transforms the material inclination of the sadhaka's heart with that ecstasy, fully immersing it in the sweetness of Sri Bhagwan's names, forms, qualities, and pastimes. It is not easy to mix mercury and sulfur powder. They only blend thoroughly if they are vigorously rubbed together again and again. So this is basically creating an amalgam. In chemical chemistry, we studied amalgamation of mercury and sulfur. Um, that is called an amalgam. So similarly, although the propensity of bhakti in the form of Shravana, Kirtana, etc., enters the doors of the senses of the sadhaka who does not yet have rati, bhakti does not immediately fully mix or amalgamate with the tendency of his heart. When a person constantly performs bhajan characterized by Shravana, Kirtan, and so on, he grows through the stages of anartha nivritti, nishtha, ruchi, and asakti, and gradually bhakti becomes one with the propensity of his heart. As long as this deep integration does not occur, the heart remains inclined towards material attachment, envy, and other material flaws. Upon attaining the platform of rati, the materialistic nature of the heart is destroyed and it becomes transcendental. An amalgam of mercury and sulfur is known as mercurous sulfate, and the amalgam of bhakti and the heart is known as prema. At the stage of prema, the disposition of the sadhaka's heart resembles. Radha, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Radha, Hare. An amalgam of mercury and sulfur is known as mercurous sulfate, and the amalgam of bhakti and the heart is known as prema. At the stage of prema, the disposition of the sadhaka's heart resembles that of a bumblebee, overwhelmed in savoring the honey of the lotus-like names, forms, qualities, and pastimes of Sri Krishna. When, like a great sun, this self-effulgent prema arises in the sky of sadhaka's heart, it causes the star-like oscillation of the mundane goals of human life, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha to immediately disappear. The sole desire in the Premi Bhakta's heart is to render service to Bhagavan without the minutest scent of desire for sense gratification, liberation, or mystic perfection. The fruit of prema, condensed pleasure, Sandrananda Visheshatma, and the ability to attract Krishna, Krishna Karshini, Phala Bhutasya Yah Swadhyamano Rasaha Sah, Sandrananda Visheshatma Rasasya Parama Poshtiki Shakti Shri Krishna Karshiniti Uchyate. Yasmin Aswadayitum आरभ्यमाण एव विघ्नान् न गणयतीति किम वक्तव्यम् महाशूरो भट इव महाधन गुध्नुर अत्यावेश लुप्त विचारस तस्कर इव स्वात्मानम अपि नावेक्षते. The delectable rasa of the fruit of prema is Sandrananda Visheshatma, condensed superlative pleasure. And the supremely nourishing potency of this rasa is known as Krishna Karshini, capable of attracting Sri Krishna. A devotee beginning to delight in this rasa immediately becomes intoxicated by it and is no longer concerned for any obstacle. What else can be said? In this condition, he loses all sense of self. Just as a valiant warrior becomes fully absorbed in battle, or a thief preoccupied with his greed to secure a great treasure loses all discrimination and agitation. Yushavashini Vritti. Prema Bhakti has two qualities. Its intrinsic nature is composed of condensed bliss, Sandrananda Visheshatma, and attracts even Sri Krishna Karshini. In regard to the first quality, Sananda Visheshatma Bhakti Rasamrita states, Brahmananda Bhavet Esha Cheta Parardha Gurikritaha Naiti Bhakti Sukham Bodhe Paramanandanu Paramanu Tulamapi. The bliss of merging into the featureless aspect of the absolute truth, obtained after resolute meditation samadhi for over 50 years of Brahma's lifespan, does not compare even to a drop of the ocean of bliss of devotional service. Srila Jiva Goswami has commented on this verse as follows: Parardha Kala Samadhina Samuditam Tat Sukham Apiti Artha. The words Parardha Kala refer to the bliss that arises from a samadhi that lasts for 50 years, equal to 155,520 billion earth years of Brahma's lifespan of Parardha. The Jiva Goswami Path provides evidence of this statement with a quote from Hari Bhakti Sudhodaya 14.36. Tat Sakshat Karanallada Vishuddhabdi Sitasame Sukhani Goshpadayante Brahmani Api Jagadguru. O Guru of the universe, directly beholding your divine form, I now dwell within an ocean of pure ecstasy. All their pleasures, including the bliss of merging with Brahma, appear as insignificant as the water in a calf's hoofprint. Regarding the ability to attract Sri Krishna, it is stated in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Krutva Harim Prema Bhajam Priya Varga Samanvitam Bhaktir Vashi Karotiti Sri Krishna Karshini Mata. Because Bhakti attracts and controls the object of prema, Sri Krishna along with his beloved associates, he is said to be Sri Krishna Karshini. Srimad Bhagavatam 7 Canto 10 Chapter 48 verse can be cited as evidence. Yumruloke Batabhuri Bhaga Lokam Punana Manayo Vihanti Yesham Gruhan As Avasatiti Sakshat Gudham Param Brahma Manushalingam. The spiritual master of the demigods, Narad Muni said, O Yudhishthir, of all the people on this earth, your good fortune is exceedingly glorious. Because the absolute truth, Parabrahma, the all-pervading super soul, has taken a human-like form and secretly lives in your palace. Great saintly persons who purify the entire creation again and again visit to take your darshan. In his explanation of this verse, Srila Vishwanath Thakur states, quoting the response of Yudhishthir Maharaj, how fortunate is Prahlad, he has obtained darshan of Bhagwan. We, however, are most unfortunate. Sri Narad then said to Maharaj Yudhishthir, you Pandavas are more fortunate than Prahlad. Prahlad's guru, me, Narad, and other devotees. You are even more fortunate than the residents of Yadupur, Dwarka. The rishis headed by Vashishta, Marichi, and Kashyap, and also more fortunate than Brahma, Rudra, and others. Although they purify the three worlds with their darshan, still to purify themselves completely, they come to your home. This is because the Supreme Absolute Truth, Para Brahma, who remains fully concealed from even the Vedas, always resides in your home with great attachment, in the form of a human being, even without your having invited him. But the absolute truth in human like form does not remain personally, uh, but the absolute truth in the human like form does not personally reside in the house of Prahlad. And so the sages do not visit that place with the hope of receiving his darshan. We'll stop here this time. Hare Krishna. Uh, and this is the page number, I would say, 395, first paragraph. So we'll
Sorry,
continue next time, page number 395. Eighth shower of
395.
nectar, 395. Yes, yes.
Okay,
The
beginning of
text,
the paragraph.
yeah, yeah. Page number 395. All right. The first
Okay.
paragraph. So we'll begin next time from the same place, okay, where we left off. Thank you so much for attending today's class. I really appreciate that you are taking interest in this particular wonderful scripture. See, Madhuri Kadambini, lot of devotees, they are actually present here. So, thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. If anyone has any comments or questions, please let me know. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dana, Dana. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Dhanyavad Prams Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Dhanavad. And I will give now Jai Dhwani.
Jai Jai. Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गांधर विकास गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद व्यापी की जय जन तुला पृथ्वी गुरु शिशु भक्तिदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज गुरुदेव की जय तुला पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद शिशु भक्तिदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय तुला पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद शिशु भक्तिदांत त्रिविक्रम गोस्वामी महाराज की जय तुला पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद शिशुमद गोरविंद गोस्वामी महाराज की जय तुला पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद शिशु भक्तिदांत स्वामी महाराज की जय आचार्य केशरी श्री श्रीमद भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय सपरिकर जगत गुरु श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासुदेव गौर भक्त वृंद की जय जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपी गोवर्धन द्वार शवनात्मक मंडल की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन कीजिए अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्री स्वामी श्री श्री भक्तिदान दंडी महाराज जी की जय नामनिष्ठ संत श्री अनिरुद्धास प्रभु की जय मठेर सेवक वृंद की जय धामवासी भक्त वृंद की जय समागत भक्त वृंद की जय निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. So we have come to now Gurgaon. This is the place, I think, named after Gurugram. New name is Gurugram. This is the one Dronacharya. He taught the art of archery. This is the village of Dronacharya. So this is not very far from Qutub Minar. Sripad Dandi Maharaj is arriving by flight by today 10 o'clock to Gurgaon. Tomorrow morning we are departing tomorrow morning we are departing and to Anirudh Prabhu's village. So and then there will be Bhagavad Saptaha. Total 8 hours a day. So morning session and then evening session. So today Maharaj is coming to Gurugram and will be proceeding to Virat Nagar. Pandavas were in exile because they were told that they cannot be detected. If they'll be detected, then they will have to again go to forest for another 12 years. So as a result, Pandavas were in disguise in the kingdom of Virat. So Yudhishthir Maharaj took the dress of a sannyasi. because he sannyasi doesn't have to bow to anyone. So as a king, he didn't want to bow to anyone. Bhima became Ballava, the one who's actually cooking, because Bhima thought that if I cook prasadam myself, then I don't have to honor the prasadam cooked by non-devotees. Arjuna was first that he will be unique or without manhood. So he was 1 year he was disguised as a female dancer, as they call it, Brahannala. And then he was teaching dance to Uttara, daughter of Virat Maharaj. Nakul and Sahadev were looking after the cows and horses, Virat. For 1 year, they spent like that. So that is the area where they spent this this particular period, which was very difficult period in their life. But as a result of this particular Virat Nagar stay, Arjuna got a good daughter-in-law, that is Uttara, ended up married Abhimanyu. And Abhimanyu and Uttara's son was the great Parikshit Maharaj. Understood? So, these are the pastimes of Bhagwan. Bhagwan has performed many pastimes. Why something happens and why something is going to happen, we don't know. Like today, I was listening to class of Rajendra Maharaj. He was telling that when Ram went to Janakpur and he married Sita, then also the sisters of Sita ended up marrying Ram's brothers. Means Mandavi married Bharata and Urmila married Lakshmana. And then also uh, then younger brother also married another sister of Sita. Not only that, all the unmarried men from Ayodhya got married to young girls from Janakpur. And then he said that even the horses didn't come empty-handed. Even the horses were married to the mayors there. Female, this thing. Understand? So, female horses, mayors, as they call them. So you see that all got married. So, these are pastimes of Bhagwan. This is called Bhagwan. And then when Sita came to Ayodhya, to her father-in-law's place, that time when you see the face of bride for the first time, then you have to give some gift to her. And then when Kaikai, mother of Bharat, saw this particular beautiful bride of Ram, then she offered him her golden palace called Kanak Bhavan. And there every day Aarti is performed, and that Aarti is performed actually in that Kanak Bhavan, and it is with name of Sita. And also, Sumitra said that I am seeing the face of my daughter-in-law Sita for the first time, mother of Lakshman. And she said, I must gift her something because I am seeing her face for the first time. I will gift my son Lakshman to her. So my son Lakshman will serve her whole life. That is what Sumitra said. So there is called Muh Dikhai. When you see the bride for the first time, you have to give them some gift. So like this. So Kanak Bhavan was given by Kaikai to Ram and Lakshman, to Ram and Sita. So you can see how much Kaikai had love and affection for Sita and Ram. But many people say that, oh, Kaikai actually was offender and this and that. And no, nothing like that. She did this pastime just because Ram wanted that way. Kaikai was an exalted devotee and she is a great exalted devotee. Sri Anand Prabhu said that if you offend Kaikai, your bhakti will never come. He once said that Duryodhana also, if you offend, bhakti will not come. Because if Duryodhana would not be there, all these sweet pastimes would not have taken place. Duryodhana was the reason that the battle of Kurukshetra took place. The glories of Pandavas really shined because it was Duryodhana. Understand? So Duryodhana, many pastimes took place because of Kaikai and Duryodhana. So we should never disrespect them. And so this Madhurya Kadambini we learned today that prema is the fruit. The happiness once you get in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, meditation on Brahma, even if you engage Samadhi for billions of years, that happiness is not equal to one drop of the happiness you receive in Krishna Prema. So Krishna Prema is the real ocean of bliss. Premananda. Premananda Samudra. Like this. You see that now in India there is a government, Yogi government in Uttar Pradesh, and now they are changing the names of the places to give their real identity. Lucknow. Lucknow, there is my friend Amit Krishna Prabhu. He has built a temple of Radha Krishna. His ancestral temple actually, and that Lucknow actually Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada also established a Gaudiya Math there. But actually, the name of Lucknow is Lakhanpur. And Lucknow is situated very equidistant almost from Ayodhya and Naimisharanya. It's a very important location. It is the capital city of Uttar Pradesh. So, and so you'll see that Bhojpur, Bhopal is the capital city of Madhya Pradesh. And now the Ram Bhadracharya ji is telling that please named Bhopal as Bhojpur. There was a great king by the name Bhoja. This Bhoja was a great king and he ruled Bhopal. So it is the ancient name is Bhojapur. Hyderabad is named after one Muslim king, Hyder Ali or whatever it is, Nizam king. But there is a demand now growing that its ancient name Bhagyanagar should be given to it. So we are trying to bring the Yogi government, Modi government, trying to bring the Sanatan Dharma back into action. Because our Sanatan Dharma, there were names like that. For example, there was a great king by the name Bhartruhari. Bhartruhari was the younger brother of Vikramaditya. When Bhartruhari took sannyas, he developed renounced order of life. Because Bhartruhari's story Srila Gurudev told that he was a king and one particular sadhu gave him one necklace, diamond necklace. He offered that diamond necklace to his wife, and wife was in love with the commander in chief. She offered it to commander in chief. Commander in chief handed over that necklace to his another prostitute, and that prostitute was in love with the king, and the necklace came back to the king. The king investigated from the commander in chief and prostitute and all this, and he came to know that his wife really doesn't love him, and she's in love with commander in chief. The king developed great renunciation and he abandoned his wife and he took sannyas, renounced order of life. When he was going to take the renounced order of life, you have to take first diksha from your mother. Means when you take sannyas, you have to take diksha from your mother. Like even when we take diksha, we have to take diksha from our mother. If mother is not there, then you have to take diksha from a woman who's married. And when you take diksha from a woman who's married, then that is called Savashna, or what they call it, Sumangali. Then you have to say Om Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi Om. If you take from a man, but first Bhiksha from a woman who's married. And then second Bhiksha from you can take from anyone. If you ask from males, you say Om Bhavam Bhiksham Dehi. So like this. So Bhartruhari, the great king, he went to his mother to take Bhiksha. And mother told him that you should never sleep on very soft bed. Then Bhartruhari said, how can a person in sannyas life sleep on a soft bed? He'll never have any money, so he'll not be able to purchase a soft bed. So what mother was telling that he should work very hard, and also don't eat palatable foodstuffs. So how can sannyasi get palatable foodstuffs? So what his mother was trying to tell that you should not sleep on a soft bed means you should work so hard. You should work so hard. You should do so much seva. Then you should fall asleep automatically. So devotees are like that. In India, as the mother-in-laws, they always give a lot of hard work to their daughters-in-law. Not all mothers-in-law, but many. So one time, one mother-in-law told the daughter-in-law that you are making cloth, you are doing charkha. Charkha is one wheel which Gandhiji has in his hands, and rotating it, he is actually creating a thread, cotton thread from the cotton itself, and then that thread is woven into cloth. So that daughter-in-law was given the work of making thread, so that thread can be sold to the weavers. But then she said, now you take little rest. But what she meant is that now don't make the thread. Now you make the powder. Means now you powder the wheat using the flour mill, which is a domestic flour mill with nothing but two round pieces of stones, and then you have to rotate them using a handle, wooden handle. That is called jata. So what mother-in-law was telling that give up this simple work, now take even more harder work. So our mind should also be like that. As soon as you have stop reading Madhuri Kadambini, then you take your mala, you chant Hare Krishna mantra, 1 hour, 2 hours. Then after that you can take Gaudi Giti Guch and sing many bhajans. Then you can take a broom and clean the temple. Then you can just get up and then you can make a garland. Then you take and you do some book editing. Then you take some books in the bag. Then go and distribute on the streets. Then you go for Nagar Kirtan. Then this and that. There's so much activities. So your mind should have no time to think of anything else but Krishna consciousness. That is what Sri Rajendra Maharaj was telling about analogy he was giving. That mother-in-law is telling the daughter-in-law that now you stop making the thread and now you make the powder, grind the wheat into powder using the grinding wheel. So like this. So our mind should have no time because empty mind is devil's workshop. So till we reach these higher stages of bhava and prema, we have to by force engage our mind in these Krishna consciousness activities. So Madhura Kadambini is a wonderful book, and certainly so many things we are learning that anubhavas are like many leaves. Is telling the first leaves is kleshakni shubhada, but then higher leaves are anubhavas, and we learn so many things today. So let us continue reading these scriptures so that we'll benefit. So tomorrow, I hope we'll be again have class on Jaiva Dharma. Jaiva Dharma is the essence of all the scriptures. It is the final literary contribution of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And in Jaiva Dharma, he has given all the wonderful instructions to us. So tomorrow, I hope we'll be on 7 o'clock. We'll have the class on Jaiva Dharma. Hare Krishna. Dandavats.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj, that is a tough piece of job.
Pardon?
I said that's a tough piece of job where a daughter-in-law has to go through all of that.
Sorry, I'm having a little cold. Weather change. So I agree, Revati Didi, that you should engage your mind because Nama Rupa Charitadi Sukirtananu Smrutyo Kramena Rasana Manasi Niyojya Tishtan Vrajata Dunaragi Janano Gami Kalam Nait Akilam Iti Upadesha Saram. If you take all the scriptures in the world, the essence of all the scriptures in the world is stored in one particular shloka by Srila Rupa Goswami Pad. And Rupa Goswami Pad has said that engage your mind, your tongue, your body in serving and hearing and remembering pastimes of Sri Krishna, his name, form, qualities, and pastimes. So we should not even one moment spend our time in vain because it is a great loss. Money, if you lose money, you can get it back again. Like last week in India, there was some Hindenburg, one particular report who came from England, from America, and that sent the Adani Group's stocks crashing. Stock market, became, suddenly crashed. And Adani lost a lot of money, but again he regained the next week. Understand? So Adani will lose money, sometimes he'll gain the money also. Doesn't matter. But Mr. Adani, Gautam Adani, who's one of the richest persons in India, will can he purchase his yesterday's 1 hour by spending trillions of dollars? No. So time is not money. Time is more than money. If you lose your time, then time will never come back. So there is no comparison to time because in that time you could have chanted Hare Krishna mantra, you could have recited Nandana Ashtakam, some like this. Read the books of Gurudev. So time is very valuable. So that's why even if you cannot do much, you can always chant the names of Sri Krishna. So there is no hard and fast rule. Like Gajendra, he was in distress. What he did? Antargate graha gruhita pada visrushta vikslishta samasta bandhu tada Gajendro nitam jagada Govinda damodara madhaveti. Gajendra chanted Govinda damodara madhaveti. Draupadi, what she did? Agre kurunam atha pandavanam dushyasanena vritavastrakesha Krishna tada kroshatananyanath Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Draupadi, what she did? She was Rajaswala. She was in her menses. She was Ekavastra. But what she was doing? She was calling Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Understand? Durvara Vakyam Parigrihya Krishna Mrugiva Bhita Dukatham Kathanchit Sabham Pravishta Manasa Juhava Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. And you see that when Dushasan came to catch Draupadi, what she was doing? She was chanting Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Yeah? So we should also engage in this Nama Sankirtan all the time. Hare Krishna. Jai Ho. Manchakalpataruvescha kripa sindhuvecha pattanam pavnebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaः. Dandavats. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Then
Krishna. Dandavad pranams. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna. Dandavats. Hare Krishna.
Bhaktivedanta Vishnu Daivata Maharaj ki jai.
Dandavats.
Vanchakapatru
Vishnu kripa vecha pattanam pavnebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaः. Jai Vishakha Didi ki jai. Dandavats. Samasta Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Thank you all devotees for joining from all the India and also other parts of the world. I very much appreciate your presence, online presence. It encourages me. Please join in larger number and we can continue discussing the sweet nectar of Jaiva Dharma, Madhuri Kadambini, Bhagavad Gita and Chaitanya Charitamrita. These books are self-manifest and they are actually no need of any advertisement for them. They are the topmost books in the world actually. No comparison to any of these books which we are discussing. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Dandavats.
Thank you so much, Marge, for tuning to the Hare Krishna Dandavad pranams. So, Marge, you will be coming on tomorrow, even though you're going for another program.
Yeah, I hope so. So because by evening we should have reached there. If any interruption comes, I will let you know some hours before. So you can send intimation by Telegram group. Because now with the type of networking we have, the type of messaging apps we have, you can you can actually very quickly you can reschedule the class. It is not very difficult with this type of messaging we have, right? Previously that was not the case. Yeah, now it is much easier. But with the present plan we have, we are going to leave tomorrow. We should be there before 7 o'clock. Certainly before 7 o'clock. If any change comes, I'll let you know.
Sure, Marge. Thank you so much. Thank you, Marge, for attending today, and thank you, dear devotees. We'll see you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna Dandavad pranams.
Dandavad.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Dandavad.